What's up, board fam? Eric here, and in today's video, we're going to be watching a clip from everyone's least favorite fake critic, the Critical Drinker. Now, in this video clip, he's going to be talking about a feud between William Shatner and Nerdrotic, and I always find it interesting how these guys can leech drama off of each other. It's really interesting how they have no problem engaging with drama adjacent to them and making something out of it. The title of this video is William Shatner's hilarious feud with Nerdrotic. And feud is in quotes because is it a feud? We're going to add context to this video as we go through it because I think it's quite interesting the way that they have angled all of this. And the amount of edging they do for each other doesn't shock me at all anymore. We know how these guys get down. But because we're so early in this video, I don't want to say too much so YouTube won't restrict the reach of this video. All right, let's go ahead and watch this clip.
And it turns out William Shatner and Nerdrotic have obliged because
they are feuding.
They are feuding. There is beef between them.
There's
I'm going to see if
blood.
I can share this article here from Geeks and Gamers because
Geeks and Gamers article. As I've said before, reading articles on sites that are written by the people that are involved with these communities is probably one of the most pathetic things you could do as a content creator. It really is. Like, that's the entire purpose, is to create narrative for you guys to make content. Again, it's like the human centipede of media grifting.
yeah, why not? Why not go to them? They're the guys who can set us straight on this thing. So, it says here, William Shatner's X account may unblock Nerdrotic after a 2-year ban over Star Trek misunderstanding.
2-year ban? William Shatner didn't ban Nerdrotic from anything. He used the block feature. Like, you can use that, you can use the mute feature. There's all kinds of ways to prevent people from interacting with you. It's not a ban. No one was banned in this scenario.
I mean, I don't know how much of a misunderstanding it was, but let's read. It's not every day Captain Kirk blocks you or even extends a semi-olive branch. The William Shatner X account previously blocked our good friend Gary and his account back in 2024 over a response to a Hollywood Reporter headline about actor Will Wheaton being appalled that Larry David was attacking the Muppet character Elmo. Gary's been one of the biggest Star Trek fans for decades and has no ill will towards the famous captain of the Enterprise. I mean,
It doesn't matter. You guys attack Star Trek. Like, quite literally, you attack Star Trek. Doesn't matter if you call yourself fans or not. You can't be fans of current Star Trek when you haven't really liked any of it. I think maybe you've been somewhat positive about Strange New Worlds when it's convenient. And I'm not sure about Picard. You guys are all over the place with this stuff, but most of the new Star Trek stuff you do not like. So a broad stroke is like, I'm a fan of Star Trek. No, you're a fan of specific things from the Star Trek universe. William Shatner being someone that you don't have a problem with doesn't mean that in general you're good with Star Trek, because you're quite literally not.
does anyone really? However, it appeared the whole situation was a misunderstanding. Gary had been responding to the headline posted by Paul Chatto, which had nothing at all to do with William Shatner, yet resulted in an instant block on X. So it says here, this is the tweet that got me blocked by William Shatner. This post in response to the now suspended Paul Chatto was about Will Wheaton being a bitch over Larry David smacking Elmo. I mean, calling Will Wheaton a bitch is kind of like calling, water wet. It's
So you don't have a problem with William Shatner, no issues with Trek, but you have a problem with Will Wheaton. So why would people assume that you don't have a problem with other people involved with Trek? You know what I mean? Like, you're saying, oh, I don't have a problem with Star Trek. Okay, fine. Maybe as a IP, in general, you don't have a problem with it. I would probably argue that you do because of the behavior you've had about, current Star Trek shows.
it's not really a matter of opinion. It's just a self-evident fact. He is a little bitch.
It's just funny that Elmo is the reason that Nerdrotic is blocked by William Shatner.
Like, of all the things,
Damn it,
it's
Elmo.
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 I love how he just clarifies here. That being said, Will Wheaton is a massive, giant, floppy Arby's beef pussy.
These are grown men, by the way. Like, most of them are either around my age and some of them are older than I am. And this is the kind of stuff they do to actors on social media. Get on and call them names and shit like this. It's like none of them ever grew up. Either that or they're very brave sitting at their desk, yelling at celebrities, calling them pussies, all these other things. It's just very low IQ behavior to me. Quite honestly. Like, you don't have to like these guys. I'm not saying that you have to like a celebrity, but to be so upset that you have to personally insult them with such a direct insult, like this is the kind of insult you would throw at someone you know and you have a problem with in real life. To have that kind of parasocial behavior with celebrities is weird. These people don't even give a fuck about you. Quite literally, they don't. What is the point in arguing with a celebrity? Or calling them names like that? What's the point? What's the issue? So you guys believe that you can say whatever you want to these celebrities, but the minute they bite back at you, then it's a problem. Then it's an issue. That doesn't seem right to me. It doesn't seem quite fair that a celebrity has to be your punching bag at any given point in time, whether they want to or not, but you take no responsibility or accountability for the behavior that you're doing on the internet. Sometimes older than the celebrities that you're going after. And it's typically women. Usually women.
I mean, yeah. It basically came out at Star Trek Con over the past week or so, when Gary posted up saying, "I don't care that you blocked me. The love for my captain is unconditional." And it says here, where have we got it?
You can't even read the propaganda website. You quite literally can't. Look at the amount of ads he's getting on his screen. They can't even give you the ad-free version. They're like, "Hey, Critical Drinker, we got you. You'll be able to sign in and you'll get the ad-free version." No, you have to sit through ads just like everybody else. These are your guys, right?
Yeah. When my Shatner responded to this, or I say Shatner, it's
Yeah.
We'll get into that in a second.
Shatner.
When my charity silent auction opens in October, you can buy a get out block ticket and I will unblock him. It wasn't a mistake. So,
but the reality of this is that William Shatner doesn't run his account. He doesn't run any of his like social media stuff. It's his manager that runs it. I believe his name is Paul something. I had it over here. Paul Camuso, I believe, is the one that runs his account. This has been confirmed by Brent Spiner. It's been confirmed by, I saw a Reddit post. Where's it at? Right here. The irony that Shatner's Twitter account is actually run by Paul Camuso to hawk his cryptocurrency schemes to pick fights with everyone is beyond belief. This was before the incident that happened. This was before that. So quite literally, William Shatner is not even the one, running his account. Let's see how long it takes him to get to that. Because this is all really funny when you think that it's William Shatner sitting behind his desk, like blocking people that he's arguing with. That's really funny. But in reality, it's not William Shatner. Like, why would William Shatner would have beef with people on Twitter? Let's be serious.
It's like watching your grandparents fight. It's quite funny. I like it. It's going to be more common. It's like taking a glimpse onto Facebook for the first time in many, many years.
I feel like Gary has no idea what he's supposed to do. He's just like,
well, it did culminate in this because then Shatner's account responded to the Geeks and Gamers article saying, "Let's be clear here. There's zero misunderstanding, and it's been more than 2 years. And the unblocking is a way to raise money for my charity. Not that I've had any kind of change of heart, and I've been offering it for years."
Change of heart about what, Elmo?
Yeah,
we're waiting being a
what's
pussy
the beef here, bro?
are we
You
all
upset about effect?
It's really weird that you act like someone who, like, if William Shatner and Will Wheaton are friends or at least friendly with each other and they have to go to functions together. I know there's all kinds of weird drama with the Star Trek cast over the years, but people are going to functions. They're in rooms together. They're signing autographs and stuff. He doesn't want to have to deal with somebody like Nerdrotic who's being a dick to people that he has to associate with. Like, this is dumb. If it were in fact William Shatner, which we know it's not. We know it's not him. It's quite literally his manager. But even so, if it were William Shatner, if he were blocking you because he didn't want to hear your bullshit, that's valid. Quite literally, I can block someone for no reason at all. Like, I could just go on and block someone because I want to.
It's William Shatner that's writing all these tweets.
This is so high school.
It's-
This is so high school.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit.
And you're sitting here participating in it and laughing about it. The guy at the bottom, Gooch, is the one who had to change up his content because the media grift shit wasn't working. I watched, I don't remember if I made a video on it, but I watched his channel a while back. He was trying to make a living doing YouTube. And he was making content like these guys, doing, I think, semi-daily live streams covering news and doing culture war shit and stuff like that. And that's not the content he was originally making. Originally, he was doing, I believe, like anime stuff. Don't quote me on that, but he was doing something related to animation. And then he switched over to the culture war stuff because it's lucrative and YouTube's pipeline typically rewards it, except he got in the game late. And so he wasn't able to make as much money doing it anymore. And he actually made a stream talking about how he wasn't making enough money to support himself with those kinds of streams. It wasn't worth it for him to do financially. Of course, I'm paraphrasing, but this is the kind of stuff he was saying. So now you're sitting in a stream with Critical Drinker doing outrage content, laughing about it, calling it high school, and quite frankly, it is. And that's the sad thing, is that you're sitting here doing this, having these like high school locker room conversations about stuff as adults. And who is this content for? Like, who are you making this for? This is like low tier content, quite honestly. It's low tier for these guys. And the fact that we're doing this is crazy. I can't wait to see what these guys have to say about lanterns. I quite honestly can't wait.
We should probably address the fact that it is 100% not William Shatner who manages his Twitter.
Thank you. Now that we've laughed about it and we've led our viewers to believe that all of this is because it's William Shatner, now we're going to come clean and tell you guys the truth. And by the way, that's why I said it earlier, because I'm like, why is he not just saying this from the beginning? And why is it in the Geeks and Gamers article? Because if the article doesn't point out that it's not actually William Shatner, I mean, why would it, right? Why would it point it out? It's a propaganda site. So it probably doesn't.
Account. William Shatner is 95 years old and he could not give a fuck about Gary or you or me or any of the people here. He probably doesn't even know who any of us are. Nor would I if I was 95 years old. I wouldn't give a shit about any of this. I think it's his
you shouldn't give a shit about it at like 50 years old, right? Like this kind of stuff is so fucking juvenile. Blocking on Twitter, beefing with celebrities, it's so fucking stupid.
Otter, from what I've heard, that manages the Twitter account. Fair enough. So, you know, is anything lost here by being blocked by his account? Probably not.
Shatner is like too busy trying not to shit his pants at this moment, and he's just like, this is a way of trying to, get out there and raise money and raise funds for their charity, which is smart. Really, you're creating some news, but really, this is kind of like, and all of it, it's like ridiculous. It's so ridiculous.
You'd also think as well, if you're asking people to give money to charity, it will be because they believe in the charity and not because they were blocked on Twitter.
No, we're not going to do this. There's lots of charities and organizations that do gimmicky things to raise money. Let's be serious here. Be completely serious. I've worked as a DJ in gigs for 30 years. I can't tell you the amount of times I've been at an event where it's like, oh, it's a wet t-shirt contest for charity, or we're going to do a hot dog eating contest for charity. There's all kinds of things you do to draw attention to a charity to get people involved so that there's some other reason for them to be there instead of expecting them to just show up and like throw money at a charity. Art auctions, all kinds of things to raise money for charities. So this is really dumb. It is so dumb for him to even make this comment.
Just doesn't seem like the most charitable thing.
Right? Of all the things. Yeah, I came here to give money so you can unblock me on Twitter. I want to see that live. I want him to ask him, like, hey, you got me blocked. I came to donate money so you can unblock.
He doesn't actually care if the money comes in for that reason. This is the part you don't understand. He's simply using this to get people to bring attention to the charity that he's raising money for. He doesn't actually expect people to do this one thing. Oh my God. I can't imagine being a part of this panel and having a conversation this fucking stupid. And Mahler being here as the intellectual that he thinks he is, and Little Platoon being these intellectual guys participating in this, is just like, their fans should reconsider the kind of content they're engaging in.
Fuck me. William Shatner probably just look at him like, what the fuck are you talking
I'd love him to like approach Shatner at a convention or something and be like, bro, why have you blocked me? And why have you blocked me on X? And like Shatner just being like, what's X? Where am I? Who are you? Get him out of here. Yeah, it's the strangest thing, but man.
That's hilarious. Over Elmo. Elmo.
All right, enough of the fake critic, the critical liar. We're now going to watch a clip from Friday Night Tights. This is Gary and his minions. A bunch of people on here that are just going to laugh like trained seals at this fake drama. Now, to be fair, I don't know why I'm being fair, but to be fair, Gary does put in the title that it's not William Shatner that blocked him. But I am curious to what Gary has to say about this because we're still talking about it. I can say this, if I knew that someone on social media that blocked me was like actually their manager, I wouldn't even be talking about it. It's such a non-discussion. But again, I want to reiterate, these guys don't have anything to flop watch at the moment. Not yet.
So did the Star Trek people seem nice, Gary? I've been wanting to ask you.
The Star Trek people
that chick
for Starfleet Academy?
Yeah.
They were fine with me.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Got a couple of weird looks, but no one.
Yeah, Laura Thok was perfectly lovely. She had no fucking idea who me and Disbrew were, and we were right behind each other in line.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's almost like you don't matter. It's almost like you don't matter to any of these people. That's why you have to fight with them on social media, because you want attention. You want to be noticed, right? So this is what they do. He is confirming here that the actors of the show, the ones that he tries to get his fans to harass on social media by accusing them of all kinds of things, whether it be being DEI hires, saying they hate people, they hate men, they hate the fans. They don't even know who the fuck you are. That feels real good. We love to see it.
But Disbrew got the full collection. I just got Caleb and Laura Thok, and he's like, haven't I seen you someplace before? I'm all, you might have.
It was
Never heard of me. No, I might have.
It was funny as well because you told me you chose him because he was the least likely to recognize you, and he was the only one that said something.
Yep.
Again, they don't know anything. They don't know anything.
And he recognized you. What did he tell you?
We were so lined up, just about to take the photograph, just about to be taken, and he just leaned over and went, "I watch your videos." So I'm like, the camera goes off. He did say he found them funny, so you know.
Gary, what?
Well, he found them funny because they don't take you seriously. That's the thing. They're working in the industry as actors on some of the biggest properties in the world, whether you like the properties or not. They're actually contributing. They're actually involved in it. You guys sit behind your desk and call them names and say racist stuff about them and say sexist stuff about them, homophobic things about them. This is how you guys contribute to the community. They contribute by being a part of a show and using that space to bring all of these new concepts and ideas to the fandom. You guys contribute by offering hatred. Isn't that great? Offering hatred towards everything. And he says that he finds you funny because you're clowns. Quite literally, your content is made for a bunch of people who are full of clown energy. So it's good that he acknowledged that for you.
You look like you want to fuck him in this.
Wow, that's your takeaway from that?
A little bit.
This is the last photo before that guy disappeared.
That's my Kubrickian smile right there. No, so we had that conversation, and then I'm starting to smile, and the guy took the picture early. I wasn't ready. So
there goes your
holy
fucking $80.
How pathetic is it that you go to this event and you troll them by paying because these are paid photos. The ones where you have to stand and they take the photos for you. You have to pay for these things. So you troll them by going there, paying for a photo op, getting the photo op, uploading it to social media. So you've paid money to these guys, right? You've done this for a photo op for a show where you've literally flop watched for money. Like, how pathetic is this? This entire, like, when you think about it, it's really sad. These are like grown men doing this. Bro, y'all, like, go ahead, give us nothing. That's essentially it. Give us nothing. You contribute nothing. You do not do, like, this community is worse because you guys are in it. Your inclusion in the conversations about these shows and movies, we are worse as a community because you guys are in this fandom.
70, but yeah.
70.
Hey, best $70 I ever, $70. And in some cases, with like a guest star, Disbrew was like one of 3 people taking a picture with that actor. It was pretty sad, actually. The whole
That's
affair.
how it can be at some of these
sad.
places, depending on the actor, depending on who it is.
But like these things, like you paid $70 for a photo. These guys go to these conventions. The conventions pay them thousands of dollars to be there. They sit at their booths all day. They make hundreds of thousands of dollars over this weekend. They're fine. And guess what? They don't have to sit around and be miserable on camera all day. They can go and talk to people who actually want to talk to them about their shows, about their movies, and have like genuine conversations with them. You guys go and you try to troll them in real life, which, by the way, this is kind of, in my opinion, this might be a hot take. In my opinion, this is almost like harassment. Right? It's almost like harassment. They went there knowing full well that these actors that they have spent months attacking are going to be there. They went there to bother them in real life. They went there hoping for something to happen. They went there expecting these actors to maybe know who they are and hear all of these hateful things they've said about them. And then these actors who were there have to stand and be cordial to them because they're in a public place where they want to make sure that everyone that's there, all of their fans that are there, are having a good time. So they're kind of in business mode. Like when I'm DJing a gig, unless you are in that moment being rude to me, even if I know we don't like each other, even if I know you're someone that has talked shit about me to someone else, if you come up to me while I'm working, I'm going to be nice to you because that is what I am there for. I am there to provide that service, and you are there being a customer somehow. You spent money, you bought a drink, whatever. I'm going to be nice to you for that reason. So if you're going there specifically because you don't like these actors, this is another level. Now that I'm thinking about this is another level of like behavior that's just fucking weird. You're going to these conventions and your intention is to go there and what? To have these actors fight with you so you can have a story about it, like on your fucking YouTube channel? Is that what you want? You want to go there and take this online beef into real life? How would you like it if they showed up at your place and they wanted to argue with you about the content you've made? How would you like that? I bet you wouldn't like that very much. But here you are going to them while they're trying to do something for their actual fans, the people that are there to see them, and you want to cause a problem. Oh, but you paid for a photo. But you know very well that if you didn't pay for it, you would still be there kind of watching and hanging out, which is really fucking creepy.
Sometimes they don't get a lot of play, you know?
Yeah. But this was a Star Trek convention, though. Like, this is a Star Trek event. You would think.
Yeah, but this is Star Trek Starfleet Academy. That's the problem.
But it was such a success, Ryan. What are you talking about?
It's season of everything.
No, I want to use this term because I've noticed a lot of people in the comments are saying it quite literally. We know that era of Star Trek is probably going away because they're trying to wrap it up, turn them into movies. We get it. So even if the show would have been a roaring success and it would have broke all kinds of records and everybody loved it. Say, for example, the hypothetical is the show did well. It was still going away because even shows that are doing well in the Star Trek TV universe are not coming back. Ideas and concepts they had for shows that probably would have done really well are not going to happen. So it doesn't really matter if the show was good or bad.
Hey, Gary, do you think you were about the average age of most of the people
Yes.
at Star Trek?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're not even being hyperbolic. Yes.
Which doesn't bode well for the health of the future of
No, I'm actually making.
Hey, spoiler alert. A lot of people in my age bracket are the ones that have the money to go and do these things. The picture was $70. The economy fucking sucks. Younger people don't always have the additional money to just toss around, right? And go to these things. And this is a systemic issue. We're seeing it in all forms of entertainment, whether it be movies or nightclubs or concerts or whatever, going out to dinner, little things like that. We're seeing this across the board. So yes, the older people are most likely going to have the money to go and spend at these events. That doesn't mean they're the only people watching Star Trek. But we know that's fake anyway, because we have the numbers to show that Gen Z and millennials are the ones driving media right now. But let's let them continue.
Yeah, I'm in that's why Garrett's not here. I'm in the
There you
process
go.
of making a video.
That's a good one.
See?
It's more natural smile there. Yeah.
There you go. I was like, hey, lady.
You have to remember, Starfleet Academy was specifically aimed at teenagers, and I didn't see one single teenager take any
Nope.
photograph with them at all.
There was
But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Businesses try things all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, how many items have been added to the menus of a restaurant where they're trying to see if there's an audience for it, and then the item goes away because people just weren't interested in it, right? So they made a show, and the show, by the way, we don't know if it would have gotten a third season. We have no clue because, as I said, these shows were all going away. If they make a show and it makes 3 or 4 seasons of it, whatever, and then it just doesn't really take off, it's fine because they were just trying something new. Not every single thing that comes out from an IP, I don't give a fuck what IP it is. I don't give a fuck which one it is. You cannot have everything come out and every single person loves it, or the demographic that they attempted to pick up picked it up. It just doesn't work like that. So they made a show with a certain audience in mind, and you didn't see people that age getting photos at the event. So that must mean, ding, 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 that maybe that audience didn't want to watch the show. This is the argument he's making. But the only proof you have is that you didn't see young people at this event. I would call it selection bias, quite honestly, because you're taking the sample size of this event and going, see, this one thing shows that I'm right about all this other stuff, while having no other proof, just your own anecdotal, like, this is what I saw. There's a reason why those kinds of arguments don't work in any sort of like proper debate or conversation about this stuff, because you can't use personal things like that to prove a systemic thing or a bigger picture. This is why they're just talking shit. This is just shit talking.
little kids that the parents brought that were a little older. They might have been grandparents, but that was it. It was all a bunch of olds, and that was my takeaway, and that's why I'm making a video, because well, if you think about it, of the 3 seminal science fiction franchises in the world, Star Wars, Star Trek, and Doctor Who, 2 aren't even being made right now. They're not even in production. They're done.
Star Trek kind of invented cons.
So then my question would be to you, why are you worried about dead content? Why are you worried about it? This doesn't bode well for you, because what's happening here, and this is the really interesting thing. I actually thought they were going to get into more of the William Shatner stuff. They're spending a lot of time on this at the beginning. We'll see if we get there, but this doesn't bode well for you guys, because what this shows, it like, say for example, this is true. They're right. Hypothetically, let's just say that they're right, that these franchises are dying up. What are you going to do? What is the future look like for channels like Nerdrotic if only boomers are fans of this stuff and then they're not making any more of it? Quite literally, what does that look like? Also, I want to point out, I did a wellness check on Nerdrotic's channel with Friday Night Tights. The peak of Friday Night Tights, based on the math that I've done, and I'll do a little bit more on this, like 2023 was probably the biggest year in terms of numbers for Friday Night Tights, and it has not grown since then. Matter of fact, it has plateaued. His live streams have plateaued. They've reached a point now where they're just not getting spikes anymore, even with YouTube pushing the content and maybe seeing some subscriber growth. it's not translating into live viewership for his streams anymore. Now, I want to be clear. This isn't saying he doesn't have arguably the largest fandom stream on YouTube on that night. I would say that's probably a safe assumption. But I'm saying like there's no growth. So think about this for a second. He's saying that these shows are not in production. They're not making, like, we know Star Trek is it's going to be made into movies at some point. Doctor Who, we don't know what's going to happen with that. Star Wars is still making stuff, but it's going in a different direction. So my point here is that if these things discontinue and they're not making them anymore, effectively, you're either going to have to start engaging in content that's like Gen Z and millennial content and trying to win them over into your audience by hating on stuff that they love. You're going to have to start doing that, or your channel is just going to dry up. This is why, like, Star Trek and a lot of these IPs look into that younger audience and that younger demographic, because there is a stagnation. At a certain point, there's no growth. You can make 1 million next generations, but if those next generations only appease the fans that love it anyway, then you're not doing anything. There's no movement there. There's no reason for it to exist outside of appeasing fans that are already locked in on the older content. And they're probably not going to love it as much as they do the older content. They want to see the older actors come back. They want to see these storylines from these shows continue on with the same people they love. They don't want new stuff. Like this lineup here is proof that these guys don't want new stuff. And we're seeing it now. We're seeing what this, like, if what they're saying is true, again, if this hypothetical is true, then this means their careers, they've hit a ceiling. There's nowhere for them to go unless they start complaining about Ben 10 and stuff like that. Like, quite literally, this is it for these guys. They are talking about the death of their content pipeline. Okay.
Like, I mean, they were
the media specific con. Yes, it did.
Yeah.
They were crazy that of those three, Star Wars is in the far better position, which sounds insane. Right
it is. Yeah. But that's just because it's backed by merchandise, right? But Star Trek and Doctor Who can't even sell merchandise right now. So that's they
were never big on merch anyway. If you look up the numbers, Star Trek merchandise wasn't even in the same conversation as Star Wars.
One of their big problems. But ultimately, yeah, it's kind of sad. I mean, they've had their time, but yeah, it was a bunch of fucking olds there. That was it.
You're old.
With Next Generation and Voyager and Deep Space Nine, which we were blessed to get that stuff, you know, but like there really hasn't been anything. I don't have anything to point my kids to. I'm like, hey, let me introduce you to like new Star Trek stuff. Like, you know, my mom was like, hey, you know, here's next.
No, you could. That's the kicker about all this. You could do that. You could like participate in new Star Trek stuff. You just don't want to. And therefore you're not going to suggest it to your kids or anybody else's families because you just don't want to. That's quite literally it. Like, you keep acting like there's a reason they shouldn't be engaging in Star Trek, but you're gatekeeping them from it.
Generation, then I watched the original series and I was like, oh, I love this because my grandmother had every episode, you know, ever made from it. So like watching that stuff, but there's nothing to like point to, like, here's a new thing that I can introduce you to. Even J.J. Abrams movies, they watched the first one, they're like, this is fine. I was like, well, there was a show about this. And they're like, cool, Dad, that's awesome.
I do not believe for a second, I'm going to press X to doubt on this, that kids wanted to go back and watch the original series. Like, you could maybe convince me that they wanted to watch the movies that came out like in the 80s and stuff, but going back to the original series, I would say you could even convince me that they might want to watch Next Generation. I cannot believe that the average kid out there wants to watch Star Trek, the original series. And by the way, this is anecdotal, so this doesn't mean anything. Like, everything he's talking about here is like a personal anecdotal thing that this usually happens when there's no actual proof of anything at large scale. Is you end up with all of these little personal stories about like, well, my kid, my grandmother, whatever. It plays really well to a base that has been conditioned. So the audience that watches them, the audience that is plateaued, it plays really well to them because it just reaffirms what they're already being told by these guys. Like the underlying foundation of like we're not supposed to like new Star Trek stuff. That's already there. So this is just continual conditioning to their audience that they shouldn't like it.
Like that's great. We're really happy for you. You know.
Well, there's comics and novels you could introduce them to.
Yeah. Well, I just forced my oldest to start reading Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
They're forced. That sounds like such a great thing to do. Force them to do it instead of letting them choose. You know, maybe they would like new Star Trek.
There you go.
We're getting there.
That's a great one. Perfect.
Yeah, what was one of the interesting things about the panel was that they knew that they'd changed. And so there was one guy that said, I don't think it's our job to push a perspective on someone. I just want to raise questions. But everyone else was like, no, we used to raise questions, but now we want to make things more analogous. We want to make it like real life. We want to push things more. And so they know what they're doing. They just, now they see it as vital.
But the show is canceled. Like that show is canceled and we're not getting any more from this era. So I'm not even sure why what difference does this make?
It's almost like, no, things are so bad because they don't like the situation either. To me, they're the ones that have destroyed everything, but to them, the world's just disastrous and they're desperately trying to save it. And so they're getting more desperate and more forceful and more obvious in what they're doing because they think it's the only way back. And so it just keeps getting worse.
It's essentially the fans. The fans are the problem. And that was the same attitude with Doctor Who. But Kurtzman wasn't there. There was no president. He wasn't there.
What a surprise.
I don't think they've ever, like, you keep saying that this thing about them not liking fans. Why the fuck would they be? So this is the part that doesn't make any sense to me. Why the fuck would they be at a fan convention if they didn't like fans? They're taking pictures with older people. You were there at your big age of whatever the fuck age you are, my age. You were there harassing them, paying for their photos so you could take a picture to make fun of them on the internet. And they were happy to take a picture with you. They didn't argue with you. They didn't fight with you. They did none of the things that you say they're capable of doing when it comes to fans. None of that happened. But you get back home, you get on camera, and all of a sudden, they did this by attacking the fans. You were at the fucking event. If they wanted to push any sort of messaging to the fans that they didn't like them, then they wouldn't be there. They wouldn't show up for that. This is brain rot.
And they have a movie coming up, but it's not going to make it. They won't put it into production. There's no way it would command. It would need a budget that it would be a tough sell, and it's supposed to be kind of a reboot or relaunch. They don't even really fucking know. That's the whole point. But I guess since we're on Star Trek, let's address.
Okay, here we go.
The William Shatner situation, shall we?
There's been articles written, Gary.
Dude. I'm watching William Shatner talk at the Star Trek convention. Spry 96-year-old guy running around telling stories. It was fucking great, entertaining. So I took a picture of him and I said, I don't care that you blocked me. You're still my fucking captain, man. Hail. And so I'm driving home. I'm firing up my Twitter and I'm like, what the fuck? There's an article written about this and Shatner's tweeting about it. But is it Shatner?
No.
The answer is no. So, yeah, William Shatner's X account may unblock Nerdrotic after 2-year ban over a Star Trek misunderstanding.
I want to point that out.
The misunderstanding, and this is like inception of X, is Paul Chato tweeted about Will Wheaton bitching that Larry David punched Elmo. I hope you're following this at home.
Yeah, that's right. I remember this.
Yeah, keep up.
Paul Chato tweeted about Wee Wilton. Nobody fucking bitching about Larry David punching Elmo. I just said Will Wheaton was a pussy. That's all I said.
Yeah, because that's such a innocent comment. Nothing there that seems like it would be bad. You just called a guy a pussy. Randomly. And no reason for that to be a problem.
So I got blocked for that because somebody added Shatner into the conversation. That was 2 years ago. Whatever. Who cares? So it comes up once in a while thanks to fucking Dan Vask.
Yeah.
Who's like, hey, Mr. Shatner, this is Uncle Aunt Gary. Well, now Dan
bring you a little
blocked,
eat.
so fuck him. But yeah, like, I'm looking at my feed. I'm like, what the fuck is going? I don't know what's going on. So, this tweet says, let's be clear, there's zero misunderstanding and it's more than 2 years. And the unblocking is a way to raise money for my charity, not that I have any kind of change of heart. And I've been asking this for years. Now, it's interesting that this is a charity for William Shatner. And I'm not going to besmirch William Shatner in any way. But after a little digging, which was me, well, actually Dan Googling something and finding a Reddit thread, it turns out
the same one that I found, right? The one that proves that it's not him.
The person who runs his account is not his daughter. It's a guy named Paul Camuso. Paul Camuso is a crypto NFT guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of those guys. He's also the social media manager, I believe, and website manager for one William Shatner. And if you go to his, you can't see his bio. If you go to his bio, he says something to the effect of, I love being on the edge of fame. I love being on the edge of fame. So the first thing I think of is all of those worms who got around Stan Lee and, get around an elderly actor or elderly celebrity and take advantage.
So here's the thing. We're gonna stop there. I waited all this time for that. So here's the thing. If you do not like the behavior that he's participating in, and you think that he's taking advantage of William Shatner, why not just make a video? Just make a whole video, not this one where it's like shoved into the middle. Make a whole video talking about how bad this is. You could do it. You have a large enough audience that you could make a video where you talk about the stuff with Stan Lee. You then talk about William Shatner, and you actually contribute something useful to the conversation when it comes to how people are, like older people in the industry, are treated by their management or their promotional teams or their PR people, whoever it is. You could do that. You could actually contribute something of value to this conversation in this space and push it out to your audience. You could do that. But instead you bury this in this video where you're making fun of the fact that William Shatner blocked you on Twitter. And then you're not even really having a serious conversation about it here. So we're not going to sit through the rest of this. This has been a long fucking video. However, harassing the actors for photos so you can make fun of them online is crazy. It's crazy to me. So fam, I want to thank you guys so much for sitting here and being bored with me. If you enjoyed this video, we're trying to get to 10K and we are very, very close. Trying to get to 10K over here on the channel. I would love to hit that milestone very soon. I want to thank all of my new subscribers and my new channel members. By the way, you get early access to at least 2 videos a week on the channel, custom badges, emojis, and you get to participate in video suggestions by being a channel member. There's several tiers. Check them out. All tiers get you early access to videos if that's all you want. But if you want to contribute a little bit more, it is much appreciated, and it helps me continue to make this kind of content over here. I love calling these guys out. I hate liars. I hate media grifters. I hate flop watchers. I hate all of this shit. And if you guys feel the same way that I do, you can help by supporting my content and helping me get out in the algorithm. Thank you guys so much. And hit subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment down below, and I'll see everybody in the next video. Take care.